Hello everybody, thanks for watching the video. So, I've been asked a lot about setting up traps on this game because in Game of War, if you guys ever played that, and I know a lot of the people who watch these videos have played it, so I'm referring mostly to them, but to a lot of others as well if they are interested in a type of setup that will allow you to take hits and be able to beat higher level players at a smaller level city. In Game of War, that worked really well the way the game was laid out, because you had gear that allowed you to defend, and it actually worked. In this, it's different. The layout is a lot different. It does not work the same as Game of War because you couldn't have unlimited troops. You can't have unlimited troops on this. You can't have all the different things that Game of War. It does not work the same. For those of you that used to play Game of War with me, it is a completely different game. The way trapping will work, if it will work at all, is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to go over the trapping idea and kind of work out how it can work for now. So the main thing that's going to work for trapping at the moment, if you was going to try and set up traps, the main thing is going to be reinforcements. That is going to be the biggest thing for a trap account, is being reinforced by other players. Because if you get reinforced by other players, of course you're going to have more boats, you're going to have more pirates, and possibly even stronger boats if it's a higher level player that's reinforcing you. But overall, it is a very team effort type of game at the moment. The more people that reinforce you, the stronger you're going to be, and of course it does not work the same as Game of War in the sense that one player is not going to be the leader of all those boats. If you get reinforced, it takes into account the player that reinforced you. It takes into account their gear, their boost. Everything goes into the report. It's not just one person's account doing all the work. It is all of them together. I don't have a report at the moment, I don't think, of someone being reinforced, but if you go look at the details on a report, if you get reinforced and you get hit by an EITC or something, go look at the report, click the details, and it shows both people's names. It shows their boost, it shows their boats, their troop types, all the different boosts and stuff that they have on, all that. Everything goes into play on this game. Whereas Game of War, it took out the other player. It just took their troops and did everything under your boosts and all that. It's different in that sense. So, trap accounts. If you guys are going to set up one, obviously you're going to be all defense. Now, the level you are, it's going to really depends on you how far you want to go. I would probably say at least 24 heavy galleons, and if you were to max out a 24 city, you'd be pretty tough. You wouldn't be able to take everything by yourself, you wouldn't be invincible, but you would be able to stop at least a 26 somewhat. It would hurt them pretty bad, but higher than 26 you probably couldn't take those by yourself. That is where the reinforcements come in. By yourself you could probably take a 26, maybe a 27, 28. A 28 that is very, very under researched and stuff you could possibly beat if you was set up very well with tier 7 defense gear, full defense defense skill tree if your hero, captain, is high enough level. And that is another thing too. These traps, you're going to have a high level here captain, because you need all those skill points. Every little bit of those skill points you can get is going to help you out. Alright, now gear wise, obviously you need the defense set, which is protectors, which there's several sets of protectors. If you guys are not level 23, you got a level 20 set, you got a level 15 set, I think. Yeah, I think there's a level 15 set. Nope, no level 15 set. There's just the level 21, but you do have a pirate level 15 set. That's what I was thinking of. But you got a level 20 and a level 23 one, so you're going to at least be 20 on a trap account. But if you guys want to hopefully try and handle the bigger players, at least 24, I'd say. But probably going to try to aim for bigger than that if we want to tackle a Man-O-War. I don't think a 24 reinforced will be able to take a Man-O-War unless you're reinforced by some bigger players that will be able to take that hit. Anyways, the gear that you want would be protectors, because it is the defense set, and of course the higher tier that you can actually get will be better. So if you guys could get it to tier 7, that would definitely help out. Alright, other gear that would possibly work isn't any of this. It would be for advanced players that have played it quite a bit, and they would be wearing master gear. Now, master gear on a 24, if you actually manage to get it that far and be able to craft some pretty high tier on this, you would be a very strong little account if you were to make this. Now, that being said, this only affects your boats. Now, if someone reinforces you, you better hope they have on defense gear or something like that, because if they don't, they could possibly get you and them set on fire with a lot of troop loss and some gear loss and stuff like that. So make sure the person reinforcing you has a defensive setup as well. It's a very teamwork type of trapping situation to do this. Now, again, it would be a very advanced player to do this. You would have to have a lot of crafting done and a lot of silver to burn to be able to craft a lot of this, but it is possible if you guys were going to do that. So, most people are probably just going to go with the protectors for now and possibly work on the master gear later if they were going to be that type of trap. Now, alright, gear out of the way. Let's go to the skill tree. Skill tree obviously is going to be entirely defense related. You're just going to go down the entire right side, and it's really going to depend on your captain level, but if you are over level 40, you are probably going to be pretty good off, but you really want to get it higher, as high as you can possibly get it, but 40 is kind of the goal at least. If it's lower than that, you could possibly do pretty well, but you want to aim for 40. It is a lot of monsters to kill, but it will help out. It'll pay out in the end. So you just want to go full right side, get all your defense and HP. Attack, I don't think it would matter as much, but you do want some of it, so at least unlock it. But you want to go for your defense and health first, I would think. Attack speed, probably want to go for the attack speed, but be sure to get your defense and health first. Alright, so just unlock all the way down, get your defense and health mostly. Be sure to unlock all these individual ones like this. That's 10% and it only takes 1 point, so you have to go all the way down here to get the last one, which is almost at the bottom of the pirate HP. It's right before the 30 ones, so be sure to go all the way down unlocking, get that, and then go back and do the defense and health part. Alright, after you do that, you're probably going to be out of points. You might run out of points before then, so I'm just going to move on and we'll come back to this after you guys be able to get that far. Ships. There's several ways you could do the ships. Mine is set up for both attacking and defending, kinda. These right here, the ones that I do usually, and I've explained these in the other skill tree videos if you guys watched them. These work for all attacking, defending, and ports, so that's why I did those. But you could possibly start at the top and come down through here and make it stronger for defending if you guys did these, and instead of wasting points to unlock all the way down through here. If you get what I'm saying there, if you just went through here and max these out as you go, then max those, and come down here and max those, you could possibly be a little stronger. I'm not really sure. If you didn't plan on attacking, I would say definitely do that. But if you guys are trying to be efficient, that's why I went down through there and did those, because they work for all things. And it's more beneficial to me because I'm still leveling, I'm still growing, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing both attacking and defending. Now, if you're just defending, it would probably be better to just go right side and max those out. Max that out when you get to it. Max that out when you get to it. There you go. You know what I'm saying there. Alright. Evasion ability. I've had mixed results testing evasion ability. Sometimes it works better, sometimes it doesn't. I think it works better when you are hitting ports. I believe that is a thing that doesn't really affect a whole lot during siege and stuff like that. It's more for ports. I may be wrong about that, but it doesn't seem to do a whole lot when you are attacking cities and stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't really tested it fully, but we'll see. We'll see. I would say definitely max out the ones you get to, the evasion ability, just because they don't take many points and it does give you a lot of it. So be sure to max those out as you get to them. They do help. I'm just not sure how much in which situations that they help more. I would assume they would help quite a bit during defense, being evasive. Maybe wrong about that. Anyways, let's move on to management. I don't think there's anything in here that's going to help defense-wise. Don't believe so. No, not really. Unless you want to go for the assault cooldowns, that would be pretty much the only thing. Alright. Okay, so we got the gear covered. Well, went over the gear a little bit, went over the skill tree a little bit. Pirates and boats. If you guys are 24 and you got the heavy galleons, I've already did a video on how to set up boats if you guys were looking for that, but I will go through them anyways. Mostly what you want to go for is firepower, armor, durability. It's basically going to be the same thing as an attack setup. The boat setup doesn't really change. The only thing different I would do in this, instead of what I said in the other video, would be instead of having extra boats for trading and all that, I would set every single boat up for attacking and defense and stuff like that. Have firepower, armor, durability, everything maxed on all the boats, instead of leaving that out on the last few and doing capacity and stuff like that. If you guys are going to be traps, you need to have every little advantage you possibly can, because if you're going to be getting hit by someone that's 28, 30, you're going to have a major disadvantage already. So you want every advantage you could possibly get to try and beat that. And then when you get reinforced, you'll be even more so more able to stop a stronger hit. So just like Game of War, it's going to take some tweaking, it's going to take some different setups, it's going to take some work, but I would say it is possible to be able to trap in this game and be able to trap pretty well. It's just going to be a pretty team effort type of thing to take on the bigger people. Now, taking on someone around your size or a little bit bigger, you can possibly do that by yourself pretty well. Alright, now, let's see. Pirate-wise, troop-wise, whatever you want to call them, doing a mix of those, I haven't really seen a benefit of it other than killing monsters. Like, you don't want to put your higher level tier ones in the hospital because they cost more to heal, but anyways, I haven't really seen a difference for those. In the other game, Oceans and Empires, which is the one right before this, it's pretty much the same game. There's just slight differences, such as the boats had classes. Like a heavy galleon would be considered a tank class, and it would take a lot more damage, but it wouldn't do as much damage. A super frigate would have been counted as a trade vessel, and it did very little damage, but did very good trading. It went super fast and stuff like that. And the man of war would have been like an attack vessel, bomb vessel, attack vessel, that kind of stuff. The troops were different in that one. This one, all the troops seem to act like just the higher tier should be better, that kind of stuff. In the other one, the troops acted different, like ranged troops, such as, what are they called? Like the gunners, they shoot guns, they would be in the back lines, and they wouldn't really get hit until the front line people died. Like the tank would be, I think it would be like the swordsman or the sword master. They would be like the tanks, they'd be up front, and then the gunners would be in the back. This game went away from that, and they made it to where all the troops didn't do that. They were all effective in all areas, just weaker than the next tier, slightly. Swordmaster can still beat the quartermaster. It just takes the right little setup to do it. Alright, so again, doing a little mix of the troops, that would take some testing, but I don't think it has any effect when doing attacks and stuff like that. So I would say just build the highest tier you can for now, and be sure to get your boats full of those and max out the research on them and stuff to make sure they're as strong as they can be, and then work on tough pirates if you can possibly get those. Now, another thing that I noticed that could possibly be beneficial to a trap, when you get hit, and when you get hit, it's not like Game of War or those other games where you can completely get wiped out. They take all your troops, they take all your resources, everything. It is not like that. In this, some of your pirates die, some of your pirates get captured, some go in the hospital, and then the rest of them run away and hide in this cave over here. Now, the thing about that cave is I noticed that it does not have a limit. So technically, if a trap was to be trapping for a good while, and they were good about it, they would not rebuild their troops. They would let their pirates sit in that cave and pile up until they had 100,000 or more troops sitting in there, and then they would just keep rebuilding their pirates. And then after a while, they would have the ability to be a burn trap, a very efficient burn trap. So what I mean by that is old school style Game of War trapping. It was kind of a technique where you could burn, you would lose technically on their end, but you would win by points in the event, because there was a kill event just like this, but different. So you could technically set up a type of burn trap where you would take a hit, you would burn, they would think you lost, but really they're winning on points if they kill enough of the higher level troops and possibly retreat one of the bigger boats. Possibly. Be hard to do, but with the right setup and the right amount of work, you could possibly set it up to do that. So, Tier 9, Tier 10 troops are 30 points each. So if you had, let's say you had Tier 6 troops, are 12 points each, so they would have to kill double the amount they lose. Now, if you was able to set it up strong enough to be able to kill, I don't know, 1,000 Tier 10 pirates, they would have to kill at least 2,000 Tier 6 pirates to win on points. And then, of course, the boats come into play. Wait, no? Did they take that out? I thought the boats counted for points. Okay, never mind then. Anyways, tough pirates are down here. They add in some different point values too, so if they had some of those and you managed to take some of those down, that would be a little bit more points for you. But anyways, that's just an idea that I am throwing around and thinking about. It would be tough to set up, but I think it would be possible to do something similar to that. For those of you old school Game of War traps that like that kind of stuff, I think it could be possible to set that up. And then what I was saying about the layer part, if you had a bunch of troops sitting in there and you were one of those types of traps, if you got hit, you could just hit the layer and immediately be rebuilt with all your troops and everything and be ready to take another hit. So if they're sitting there trying to farm you or something, you could pop those troops back and your boats back real easy if you had some resources on hand, and then you can sink their extra boats if they send a small march or something like that, and then get them again with another big march, that kind of stuff. It's a very unique type of trapping situation to do that, but I think it could possibly work. Possibly. And then there is another way to do it that I was thinking of, building only enough pirates to fill up your boat, so you have none extra on hand. So once they get past your boats, they can't really hurt anything in your city. So if your boats are strong enough to stop, well, not stop, but at least wound or kill or sink enough of the initial hit, you will possibly win on points as well. That could be another form of the burn trap idea, except without the extra troops on hand to just immediately rebuild. You'll have to heal them or build some more or something like that if they die off or get captured. That's the only downside to that one, is it would be a slower process. But overall, I do believe that traps are a possibility in this game. It's just a matter of being smarter than the people that are going to go around and hit. Same as Game of War, same as other games that do a kind of unique trap setup, stuff like that. You just got to be smarter than the guy that's going to hit you. You got to be able to set up a trap for him, kind of like the reinforcement part. Of course, people are going to see reinforcements if you jump beside them and somebody reinforces you. Obviously they're going to see that and they're just going to go on. You got to set up in an area, get some reinforcements, and then wait, and then eventually somebody will show up. You got to play mind games with them. You got to be smarter than them. You got to be fast at it. All kinds of different little techniques and tricks and stuff that you can do to be a trap in this game. It is a possibility, and hopefully we can work it out to be able to do similar to Game of War and be able to dominate some of these bigger players without actually having to be a bigger player. But yeah, teamwork seems to be the biggest benefit out of all of it. So if you did set up one account like that, you would do okay against people your level. If you set up two accounts like that, which you would reinforce yourself, and then you would have that other one set up for defense and defense gear and all that, and its boats would be in, and you'd have an even stronger little setup right there. You would be able to take on somebody even bigger, and then other people with a trap setup, they could reinforce you as well, and then they could possibly take on some of the highest players in the game at the moment. So a lot of ideas, a lot of things to test, and I think it's possible, guys. So those of you that wanted to set up traps and stuff like that, I think it can be done. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully we can figure this out, and hopefully we can sink some of those man of wars and make them feel bad about spending all that money to get there that fast. I'll get there eventually, but I'm not going to spend a couple thousand to get there right now. There's no point in doing that, because there wouldn't be any competition if everybody just spent all the way to 30 right now. Well, it would be better than having like one or two. Being the only level 30 in a kingdom would be boring. There would be like nobody that could really touch you without a rally. So anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully we can figure it out, and I'll see you in the next one.